Om Namo Narayanaya. Namaskar to all of you. We shall begin today's Bhagavad Gita class with the prayer. Om Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine Avataravadhisthaya Ramakrishnaaya te namaha. As I have explained to you in the earlier Bhagavad Gita lecture, that we are going to learn the chanting of the 9 verses which are called the meditation on Bhagavad Gita. Last time I taught you 1 verse chanting. Today I will repeat that again, and also we will learn 1 more verse. As we know, Bhagavad Gita is generally studied after studying a set of prayer verses known as Bhagavad Gita Dhyana Shlokas. Dhyana means meditation, Shloka means verses. Now, Shankaracharya has written commentary on this. There is one more great Acharya who comes in the line of Shankaracharya, whose name was Madhusudana Saraswati. He has written this beautiful verses or the meditation verses on Bhagavad Gita in his beautiful commentary on Bhagavad Gita, which is called Gudartha Deepika. So we always start anything with a prayer, because any undertaking can have many obstacles. That's why, to remove all that obstacles, to ward off all the obstacles, we chant the prayers. Now, this Madhusudana Saraswati's 9 verses on the meditation of Bhagavad Gita will be chanted, because they are first the Namaskara, bowing down to Mahabharata, where we have this Bhagavad Gita. So it is Mahabharata Namaskara. Then he offers Bhagavad Gita itself Namaskara, because it is acting like a mother, which is giving us knowledge and wisdom, nourishing us with the milk of wisdom. And thirdly, Madhusudana Saraswati offers Vyasa Namaskara, because Vyasa has composed, compiled, and given us this Bhagavad Gita and everything. So it is Vyasa Namaskara, who is the author of Mahabharata. Then finally, we have Lord Krishna Namaskara, because Lord Krishna happens to be the Guru, the Jagat Guru, the Guru of the whole universe, who teaches Arjuna, and through Arjuna he is teaching the entire humanity. Now he is going to teach all of us. That's why first in this meditation verses, it is Mahabharata Namaskara, then Bhagavad Gita Namaskara, then Vyasa Namaskara, then Lord Krishna Namaskara to Lord Krishna. Now we shall chant 2 verses on the meditation of Bhagavad Gita today. Gradually, every day, we will learn one new verse. All of you can repeat this meditation verse, the first one, Parthaya Pratibodhitam, after me. Please repeat this verse, because when we chant the prayer, the chanting goes back through the mouth to the thought to the brain, and it purifies our mind and also the body, and it prepares our mind and our body to hear this wonderful Bhagavad Gita teachings. So I request all of you to repeat this meditation verses on Bhagavad Gita. Parthaya pratibodhitam. Please repeat. Parthaya pratibodhitam bhagavata bhagavata Narayanena swayam Narayanena swayam Vyasena grathita Vyasena grathitam Puranamuninam Puranamuninam Madhye Mahabharatam Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Bhagavatim Ashtadashaധ്യായിനീം Ashtadashaധ്യായിനീം Amba Tvam Amba Tvam Anusandadhami Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshinim Bhavadveshinim. The simple meaning of this verse is, O Mother Bhagavad Gita, with which Partha or Arjuna was enlightened by Lord Narayana in the form of Krishna himself, which was incorporated in the Mahabharata by the ancient Muni Vyasa. The Divine Mother, Bhagavad Gita, the destroyer of rebirth, the shower, the showerer of the nectar of Advaita, and consisting of 18 chapters upon thee, O affectionate Mother Bhagavad Gita, I meditate upon. That is the simple meaning of the first verse, that is Namaskara to this Mahabharata. Now we shall learn one more verse today on the meditation on Bhagavad Gita. Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullara Vindayata Patranetra Pullara Vindayata Patranetra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajwalito Gnanamaya Pradipaha Prajwalito Gnanamaya Pradipaha. The simple meaning of this verse is, salutations to thee, O Vyasa, of profound intellect and eyes like the petals of a full-blown lotus, by whom the lamp of knowledge filled with the oil of the Mahabharata has been lighted. So we have learned 2 verses today. In the next class, we will learn 2 more verses. Then we will go to the chanting of the proper Bhagavad Gita, first chapter, 2 verses, and we'll study the meaning too. Before that, we will have a little study of the introduction to Bhagavad Gita. All of us from our childhood, we have a lot of goals in our life, isn't it? Every human being in his or her life is busy pursuing different types of goals. There are some short-term goals, there are some long-term goals, and throughout our lives, we are busy fulfilling or struggling to fulfill these goals that we have fixed for ourselves. And when you talk to people, you will find that these short-term and long-term goals vary from individual to individual. While one person keeps struggling to buy a house, another person is struggling to sell the house. While one person is struggling to get married, another person, someone is struggling to get rid of the married life. Thus, goals are different and often opposite. And these goals even get revised from time to time. What we frantically were searching for a few weeks or months before, now we are not at all interested. For example, earlier in the childhood and up to the youth, we were very much interested in eating sweets and so many other delicacies. But once we get diabetes, then we are not at all interested in that. You know, one of the sweet meat shop had advertised. What is the advertisement? Only diabetic patients are given work here in the sweet meat shop. I think you could understand why. So the goals and interest goes on varying. So even if we want to give something free, they will not accept it. Thus, superficially seeing, we find that goals are infinite in number and they vary from individual to individual, time to time, even from age to age. The goals differs. Now, a few centuries before, our children, why our children, even you people, would never have asked for computer games, isn't it? Now, to get as small children, new games in the computer and the mobile and everything was your goal. Few centuries back, nobody was interested in that. They were interested in the games outside on the tree, in the water. So a few centuries before, our children would never have asked for computer games. But now the times have changed. The desire of our children are totally different from what we desired during our childhood. Thus, from age to age, time to time, person to person, season to season, our goals vary. But what are the common goals? If you sum up all these goals, if you take into consideration and simplify all these goals, different goals, what will be the crux of it, the residue? Yes. Now, if you deeply probe into this phenomena, we can find there are certain goals which are common to all beings, all human beings. They are universal goals. Take up all these goals and you sum up, you categorize them, place it in categories. Now you will see all this can be simplified into 3 important basic goals. They're called universal goals and they are basic goals. And not only they are universal, but they do not change from age to age. These goals were there few centuries before, and it is now also there, and the same goals will be there even after 10,000 years if this universe or creation exists. This we can call the fundamental or basic universal goals of humanity. Even animals have that, but they are instinctive in them. In the case of us, human beings, it is well defined. These goals can be classified into three for our convenience. The first and foremost is, what is it? All of us have existential problems, isn't it? In Hindi, simply it is called roti kapada or makan. Have you heard this term in Hindi? Roti kapada or makan. Roti means food. Kapada means wearing cloth. Makan means to live, you want a house. So basic existential goals you want to achieve in that problem. So what is it called here? The first and foremost is security. All our goal is from your childhood, when you get a little intellect, you want security, you want to study, you want to do that, everything you want to get secure yourself. I want to be secure in my life, and the desire for security and survival and the consequent desire for food and shelter is universal to animals and everybody. Only animals do it instinctively. We do it with intelligence. That's all. So it is there in all animals instinctively, and in the human beings, they are sophisticated goals. We work for varieties of goals in our life. See, watch your life some few years back and now and for the future. How much you are thinking about your security? Now, let us see what kind of security we want. So now if we go, we want everywhere. It's full of insurance companies. Can you see? So many insurance companies. Every type of insurance is a version of our desire for security. House insurance, car insurance, and if one is big musician, throat insurance, and if one is a very good football player, leg insurance, security and safety. This is the primal, the important first universal and fundamental goal of everybody. Okay, I think you could understand this. The next universal goal is that everybody, after securing this security, roti kapada or makan, what is the next goal? You want to lead a very peaceful life. Shanti. You want to lead a peaceful life. Shanti. That's why you see after every Shanti part of chanting, Om Shanti, 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 3 times you'll be repeating it. So everybody wants Shanti, peaceful life. So I want to be peaceful, comfortable with myself, hunting for peace, going from one resort to another, from one restaurant to another, from one ashrama to another. Why? You want peace. You want one extra house in Drakensberg. All are in search for peace. So the second instinct to go of every human being is peaceful, to be peaceful. Security, peace. And what is the third goal? What can all the goals of your life can be brought under these three? That's why we are now reducing it, simplifying it. So the third goal, which is very natural, universal, is desire for happiness. You want to enjoy life. You want happiness, isn't it? See, just go and watch, analyze your life. You can see you too had all these things. Not only all the human beings, you are a part of this, isn't it? So you too want all these three things. What is that? Let us now make an acronym. SPH. What is S? Security. P, peace. H, happiness. So that acronym can be remembered. SPH. All the goals of our life can be summed up as SPH, security, peace, and happiness. All human beings are running after these three goals only through different methods. Maybe earlier it was different methods. Now in the computer games or the internet and other things, everything you are running for these three goals only, everybody. Or even in future, after 10,000 years, if we exist, even then these three things will be common and universal. One considers status will give security. Another person thinks real estate will give security till he discovers that real estate is not real at all. Some people consider gold, shares, stocks, position, job endless. The means of seeking security varies, but the end is universal. Similarly, peace also. It come now. Let us take an example of peace. It seems two soldiers were talking about the reason for joining army. Okay, two soldiers were speaking to themselves. Why did they join the army? What did the first soldier tell? I love war. Therefore, I joined the army. What did the other person told? The other person told, I am married and I love peace. Therefore, I joined the army. So how is this? Therefore, different people seek peace in different way. Some want peace in war, and some want peace in coming out of the war or the house, you see. So now different people seek different peace in different methods with regard to these three fundamental goals of humanity. Our scriptures. What is that? Vedas. For Hindus, the prime scripture is Shruti, Vedas. The essence of this Vedas is Bhagavad Gita. So all our scriptures, especially the Vedas and our Bhagavad Gita, have some comments or suggestion to give that all. Now we are studying Bhagavad Gita, so we'll take Bhagavad Gita. What is Bhagavad Gita telling? That all these things, three things, what is that? SPH, security, peace, and happiness. Our scripture, especially Bhagavad Gita, has a comment or suggestion to give to all of us. All these three basic needs, the desperate needs, are available where? Only within ourselves. It is not outside. All the scriptures tell this, especially Bhagavad Gita. It's not outside, within yourself. And not only that, what is the stress there, which is a little disturbing? They say the scriptures tells that all these three are within you. They are not, they say that they are within you only. It's okay to tell it is within you, but they're stressing that only within you. What is the significance of the word only here? Can you guess? That means they are not available outside. The only word is they are available only, all these three within you only. And therefore, if you seek them outside, can you get it? You can't get it because they're not there. All of them will elude you, all of them will evade you. And therefore, if you look for these things outside, the search becomes misplaced and it will become eternal. That's why you see, you are earning so much of money. You're getting so many comforts. Some of the comforts which you have now was not at all there some 50 years back. But can you imagine? Those people were very happy than you. With all the comforts, you are not at all happy. The more the comforts are increasing, the more wants are increasing, the more miseries are increasing. How is that? So much of we are putting in effort because you are trying to get it all outside, searching for that outside. It will be eluding you. It will go on eluding you permanently because it is within. It is not somewhere outside. Therefore, according to our scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, we are doing misplaced search. The fundamental human problem is misplaced search for something in a place where it is not available. And therefore, the intelligent approach is to search for something in a place where it is available. Now, the question is, why do human beings commit such a mistake and go from struggle to struggle. The scriptures point out that these three basic needs are available within, but they are hidden. That's why we can't see within us and we go on searching outside. So they are hidden. That's the reason we are searching and getting into misery and misery. They are covered like the treasure that is covered underground, like the borehole water is covered by the so many layers of soil. We have perennial source of water in this borehole, but it is covered by so many layers of soil, which has got the permanent, what you call source of these fundamental needs, security, peace, and happiness. They are not in small quantity within you. They are in abundance. They are in infinite measure, security, peace, and happiness. And you will get permanent source of those things within you. But they are hidden. It is covered. Therefore, what is required to get these three? Bhagavad Gita points out, remove the layers of covering. Tap the eternal spring of SPH, security, peace, and happiness. May you tap from the eternal spring, and this process is called discovery. Now, let us hope you have taken a new house with a big compound. Nowadays, our municipality is not supplying water properly, no electricity. So what to do? You want to get a borehole. You called all the diviners, water diviners. You tried so many methods to find water, the underground water. You dug so many boreholes, you couldn't get it. You tried so many methods, you couldn't get it. Finally, one expert water diviner came. You were standing near the gate. To please move. He put that instrument and found it's just below the place where you are standing. You dug that borehole there and you get so much of water. Now, was that water not there? It was covered. Only thing, you searched for it in so many places where it was not there. And you removed that cover of the soil. When that person helped you, you got that perennial source of water from the borehole. Likewise, the Guru will help you to find within that you have to turn within. Now, the next question is, what are the layers that cover these three that we have to remove so that we can handle it appropriately? Bhagavad Gita again points out there are three layers covering this security, peace, and happiness: the gross, the subtle, and the subtlest. What are they? The first one in Sanskrit term is malam. Malam is impurity. Now, what is the second layer? Vikshepa means extrovertedness. Literally means disturbance of our mind. Our mind will be running. It is like a monkey, our mind, outgoing tendency. What is the third layer covering that SPH? Avaranam. What is avarana? Ignorance. So these are the three layers covering that eternal and infinite source of security, peace, and happiness within you. What is the first one? Impurity, malam. Second, can you tell? Remember, vikshepa, extrovertedness, disturbance of your mind. Third, ignorance. So our scriptures, especially Bhagavad Gita, will show us the method how to remove these three things. You are not getting anything new. It is yours, but by birthright. It is within you. What are you doing? Only removing these three layers of impurity, disturbance, and ignorance. That's all. You get that infinite source. So now, what is the first one? First one, malam. Malam means impurity. That's the first layer of that covering your SPH. They are sixfold. What are they? They're called in Sanskrit enemies. Ari, Shad, Varga. Ari means enemy, Shad means six, Varga means group. Six group of enemies within you. You think enemies are outside? No, enemies are not outside. You make enemies because of these enemies within. What are they? Kama, intense desire, Krodha, anger, Lobha, greed, Moha, delusion, Mada. You get more money, you be bloating with pride. So Mada, then Matsarya. What is Matsarya? Jealousy. So these are the six enemies which causes the impurity of our mind. Now that has to be removed. Okay. Now we will go. We have come to know what are the sixfold impurities in the mind. They make the first layer of obstacles. So in unearthing our inner joy. Then the second layer of obstacle is vikshepa. The mental restlessness, mental wandering, and mental extrovertedness is the second layer of obstacle, because of which I'm not able to see. Now, suppose there is water. Water is turbulent and there is a lot of impurity. You cannot see the bottom of the river or the pond or the lake. If the water is muddied, you can't see. The muddied water has got impurity. The turbulent water has got vikshepa, disturbance. When these two are there, you cannot see the bottom. Similarly, when our mind, our personality has got impurities and turbulence, you cannot recognize the truth behind them. Now comes the third obstacle, which is called ignorance, agnana. Ignorance of the fact that I am the only source of happiness. So you do not know, you have forgotten that I am full of abundance of peace, shanti. This fact I am ignorant. Ignorance is the third layer. Therefore, what is required? Remove these three layers. Three layers by appropriate sadhana practices, spiritual practices. That is sadhana, that is spiritual practice, that is discipline, that is spiritual exercise. You may call spiritual exercise, spiritual discipline. You have to practice them to remove these three obstacles. And each discipline is called yoga. That's why there are so many yoga in Bhagavad Gita. That spiritual discipline is called yoga. Yoga, what is the meaning of yoga in Sanskrit? Union. It unites the seeker with the goal, destination. Yoga means that which unites the seeker. Me with what? The destination, goal, security, peace, and happiness. Like the treasure hunter uses different instruments. Each one is like that yoga, because when obstacles are removed, who is united with whom? The treasure hunter is united with the treasure. So this union of this SPH with me, that security, peace, and happiness with me is called yoga. Just like the marriage broker. What does he do? He unites the bride with the bridegroom. When Girish Chandra Ghosh asked Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, what is a guru? What is the role of a guru? And Ramakrishna wanted to explain that in a very simple language. He used to use very simple examples. He told guru is like a marriage broker. Girish Chandra Ghosh was surprised. What is this? Guru is like a marriage broker. Then Ramakrishna told, he unites. What does the marriage broker do? He unites the bride with the groom. Then what does Guru do? He unites the Jivatman with the Paramatman. So likewise here, now this yoga, you have heard of Ramayana. Who united Mother Sita with Ramachandra? They were already husband and wife, united in mind and spirit. Ravana, the epitome of ego and kama, desire, impurity, he separated Rama from Sita. Who united them? Hanuman. isn't it? He brought the news of Mother Sita. So he's like the Guru. He's like the yoga. So unity, you can see that in Ramayana. So now there are so many yogas prescribed in Bhagavad Gita. Why? To claim our treasure which is already there in us. So now our scriptures, we need to remove the first layer. The first yoga which they prescribe is Karma Yoga. All of you know that Karma Yoga. To remove the first layer of obstacle, the important thing is Karma Yoga. And what is the second layer? Disturbance of the mind, Vikshepa. For that, what is the yoga? Upasana Yoga. To remove the second layer of obstacle is Upasana Yoga. Then how can you remove the ignorance? How can you remove the darkness? Can you use any method, other method than bringing in light? You have to bring in light to remove the darkness. So if you have to remove ignorance, what should you bring? Knowledge, wisdom, gnana. So to remove ignorance, what is the yoga? Gnana Yoga. So the three layers can be removed by these three disciplines. What are the first one? To remove the impurities, Karma Yoga. No alternative. You have to do. Everyone has to pass through that. What is the second yoga? To remove the disturbance of the mind, make it peaceful. Upasana Yoga. And so many other things. What is the third yoga? Gnana Yoga. To remove which layer of covering? Agnana. That is ignorance. See, in Bhagavad Gita, you can find all these yogas. So we're getting a bird eye view of what is Bhagavad Gita teaching us, what is the problem, what is our goal, what is Bhagavad Gita taking you to. So you got a bird's eye view now. Now, with this introduction, you can study Bhagavad Gita properly. Now, these three yogas do not bring anything new. Only thing they connect you to the treasure which is already within you. It helps me to claim my own wealth. Now, suppose a old man Krishna will take us in the Bhagavad Gita to the detail. We'll be seeing them later in different forms of meditation and other things, which will quieten our mind. The extrovert, turbulent, restless, outgoing, wandering, fidgety mind has to get some relaxation. A stress-free mind is the result of Upasana Yoga, which will remove the vikshepa. Now comes the final one, that is Gnana Yoga. So now Gnana Yoga, it consists of inquiry into my real nature. Who am I? What is my real nature? Do I require peace from outside, or my very nature is peaceful? Do I require security from outside, or am I ever secure Atman? Do I require happiness from outside, or can I tap it from myself? So this discriminating between the real and the unreal and removing that ignorance about myself is Gnana Yoga. So now the Vedas are these wonderful scriptures whose only aim is helping us to tap our wealth. So Vedas means source of knowledge. These Vedas are revelations from Lord Himself. So now we have come to know we got a bird's eye view of what is Vedas, what are our scriptures, and the essence of Vedas, because it was too much for us, and it was all the Vedas have been given some 50, 60,000 years back. Lord Krishna made it simple with just 700 verses. If you read Bhagavad Gita, you have got the essence of our scriptures, that is Veda. Now we shall go today to our two verses. Yes, last class we chanted the first verse. I didn't go to the deeper meaning. Today we will enter into the deeper meaning. Verse with you, the first chapter, let us chant it. Dhritarashtra Uvacha, told or said. Dhritarashtra Uvacha. Dhritarashtra Uvacha. Dhritarashtra Uvacha. Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre. Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre. Samavetayuyutsavaha. Samavetayuyutsavaha. Mamakav Pandavaschaiva. Mamakav Pandavaschaiva. Kimakurvata Sanjaya. Kimakurvata Sanjaya. Last time also we had chanted this verse and we had known the simple meaning. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, after gathering on the field of Kurukshetra, that is Dharmakshetra, and desiring to fight, what did my sons and the sons of Pandu do? Now, we shall go to the details of this verse. The two armies of the Pandavas and the Kauravas have gathered on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, well prepared to fight a war that was inevitable. Still, in this verse, even though Dhritarashtra knows that they have gathered here to the battle, but he is again asking the question, what are my children doing there and what are the Pandavas doing? So he knows that they have gathered. Why should somebody gather on the battlefield? To play, is it? For the battle. But again he is asking the question, what are my children and Pandavas doing? So now the two armies are gathered on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, well prepared to fight a war that was inevitable. Still, in this verse, King Dhritarashtra is asking Sanjaya what his sons and his brothers, Pandu's son, were doing on the battlefield. It was apparent that they would fight. Then why did Dhritarashtra, that blind man, ask such a question? The blind king Dhritarashtra's fondness for his own sons has clouded his spiritual wisdom. See, when we speak something, if you are good at psychology, or if you can study their mind immediately, one word is enough. You know, in some parts of India, there is a proverb. If you open up your mouth, if you're quiet, then they will think you are a great person. If you open up your mouth, start speaking, then your real color will come out. Because every word gives out what is your thought. So here you can see Dhritarashtra is really showing he's blind. How is he blind by not having the eyes? No. Fondness for his children, that intense mamakara. It's called in India, they call it, suppose somebody is very attached to his children. Father, they call it, see, that Dhritarashtra Vyamoha. He thinks that nobody have any children? He behaves like as if he's the only father and having too much love for his children. So that Vyamoha, Moha means delusion. Vyamoha means in a very special way. So you can see that's why he's always portrayed as blind. We are blind with the fondness of your children and we will not teach them proper manners. You watch, if the children of the neighbor's house do even a very small mistake, we'll find that fault and we are going to punish them. But if our own children do the worst of the mistake, we forgive it. We bring in so many colorful things and forgive it. But if the children of the neighbors do even the smallest of mistake, we find that mistake and want to punish them. It's called Vyamoha, blind, we are blind. So here you can see the blind king Dhritarashtra's fondness for his own sons has clouded his spiritual wisdom and deviated him from the path of dharma, righteousness, and virtue. He had usurped the kingdom of the Pandavas, his brother's children, Hastinapura, from the rightful heirs, the Pandavas, son of his own elder brother Pandu, or brother, maybe younger, I'm sorry, feeling guilty now. If they have just committed a mistake, there'll be sense of guilt pricking him. The conscience will be pricking. Feeling guilt of the injustice he has done towards his nephews, his conscience worried him about the outcome of this battle. The word Dharma Kshetra, the land of Dharma, virtuous conduct, used by Dhritarashtra, depict the dilemma he was experiencing. Why? Kurukshetra is described as Kurukshetram Devayagnam in the Shatapatha Brahmana, the Vedic textbook detailing rituals. It means Kurukshetra, the land where they have assembled to fight, is a sacrificial arena of the celestial gods. That's why Kurukshetra was called Dharmakshetra. Hence, it was regarded as the sacred land that nourished righteousness. Dhritarashtra feared that the holy land might influence the mind of his sons if it aroused the faculty of goodness in them, discrimination in them. They might turn away from killing their cousins and negotiate a truce. A peaceful settlement meant that the Pandavas would continue being the hindrance for them. So Dhritarashtra felt great displeasure at these possibilities. Instead, preferred that this war transpires. He was uncertain of the consequences of the war, yet desired to determine the fate of his sons. Therefore, he asked Sanjaya about the activities of the two armies on the battleground. Now, see, so simple, but there is so much of deeper meaning because Dhritarashtra has given out his thought through the words. Now we will go to the second verse, that is Sanjaya Vacha. He has asked the question. Sanjaya will answer for that. Please let us chant the second verse. Sanjaya Uvacha. Sanjaya Uvacha. Drishtva tu Pandavanikam. Drishtva tu Pandavanikam. Vyudham Duryodhanastada. Vyudham Duryodhanastada. Acharyamupasangam. Acharyamupasangam. Raja Vachanamabravit. Raja Vachanamabravit. What is the simple meaning of this verse? Sanjaya said, on observing the Pandava army standing in military formation. Vyudham means in those days they used to have special formations of the army to destroy or put the opposite army into trouble. The battle formation, the array, how the elephants would be arranged, how the horses, the cavalry would be arranged, how the infantry would be there. Everything they used to arrange in some special formation that was called Vyudham, the military formation. Now King Duryodhana approached his teacher Dronacharya and said the following words. That is the simple meaning of this second verse. Now, Sanjaya. We should know the meaning of this word. What is Samjaya? Sam comes from the Sanskrit word Samyak. What is meant by Jaya? Jaya means victory. See, just like Dhritarashtra, the way he is blind has shown his character. Now, the name of this person itself is showing his character. What is that special character of this person, Sanjaya? Now, Samyak Jaya, good victory. That is the meaning of the word Sanjaya. What does that show us here? Sanjaya is the name of Dhritarashtra's minister. He's the minister in the court of Dhritarashtra. Literally, the word Sanjaya means he whose victory is decisive. True to his name, this minister has mastery over his mind and senses. He was not given to partiality or predisposition. Truthfulness and straightforwardness were his characteristics. Because of this virtue, sage Vyasa could give him this power. He couldn't give it to Dhritarashtra because he doesn't have the purity. But this person, because he has control over the mind and senses, he was not given to partiality or predisposition. Truthfulness and straightforwardness were his characteristic. Because of these virtues, sage Vyasa temporarily bestowed on him this power to cognize intuitively all that took place at the war front. Not only that, he could also know what were the thoughts of the warriors there. And he's explaining, giving a running commentary, and communicated them faithfully to this blind monarch. This was why Dhritarashtra put him this question to Sanjaya. Now, we shall see what is Sanjaya telling here to Dhritarashtra in the second verse. What is the meaning of that? We can go a little deeper. We have 5 more minutes. Within that, we will complete this. Now, concern. Duryodhana said the following words. He was concerned, wanted assurance that the battle would, what would happen to the battle. Sanjaya tried to allay his worry, that is Dhritarashtra's worry, informing that Pandava's army was standing in a military formation, ready for the battle. Then he moved to tell him that his son Duryodhana, what was he doing on the battle? That is the simple meaning of this verse. As King Dhritarashtra was blind, his eldest son Duryodhana virtually ruled the kingdom of the Hastinapura. Where is Hastinapura at present? It is Delhi. Near Delhi, If you go there, even now, there is a place called Hastinapur. The present Delhi is the place where Hastinapura, the kingdom, was. From Delhi, if you go some 100 kilometers or something, you can get Kurukshetra towards Haryana. Even now, the place where Lord Krishna gave this wonderful Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, that place is marked. If you go to Kurukshetra, you can find all those places. So now, this kingdom of Hastinapura in the Mahabharata is described. This Duryodhana, who ruled that Hastinapura because his father Duryodhana was virtually blind. So now, this Duryodhana is described as a very rude, egotistic, evil, and cruel by nature since his childhood. Had a strong dislike for the Pandavas and left no opportunity to demean them. He was aware that to rule over the entire kingdom of Hastinapura unchallenged, he needed to eliminate the Pandavas. However, standing on the battlefield, when he saw the large Pandava army, he was baffled. They were in the forest for 12 years and 1 year incognito. How could they collect so much a big army? That was a surprise. Now he too got nervous. Though he had himself had a big army, seeing the army of the Pandavas, he was a little nervous. He was aware that to rule over the entire kingdom of Hastinapur unchallenged, he needed to eliminate these Pandavas. However, standing on the battlefield when he saw the large Pandava army, he was baffled. He had underestimated the Pandavas. The extent of military might they had gathered was beyond his expectation. So that's why, out of nervousness, he's running to his Guru. Guru is not the spiritual Guru, but Guru in arms and warfare. Who was that? Dronacharya. Duryodhana approached his Guru, Dronacharya, with the pretense of offering respect. But his actual purpose was to palliate his own nervousness. His move towards his Guru also reveals that the mammoth military formation of the Pandava army unnerved him, and he was now fearful of the outcome of this war. See, just a simple shloka, but it is replete with meaning. So if we can grasp, then we will come to know what is the situation there. So I think we have completed our time. So finally, I just remembered one humor about Bhagavad Gita. What is that? There was a great scholar of Bhagavad Gita. He started the lecture series, Gita Gnana Yagna. There were only 7 audience that day. Then that scholar of the Bhagavad Gita was very upset. I'm such a great scholar. I have prepared so much and we have only 7 audience. So he expressed it. Then one of the audience came and consoled this scholar of Bhagavad Gita. Sir, why do you worry? Why are you worried that there are only 7 audience here? You are greater than Lord Krishna. Then this scholar felt a little elated, proud. He's calling me greater than Krishna, Bhagavan Krishna. How is that? Please explain. Sir, you see, when Bhagavad Gita was preached by Lord Krishna, the Lord of the universe himself, he had only 1 audience, Arjuna. You have 7 audience. Are you not greater than Krishna? So that is one of the humors on Bhagavad Gita. It's just a humor. So we will close our session with the humor and also one meditation verses on Bhagavad Gita. As I have given you the meaning last time. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripa tamaham vande paramananda madhavam. Mukam, dumb, can be made eloquent. A very good lecturer, intelligent. A lame person, pangum, pangu means lame, you don't have legs. Langhayate girim, can be made to cross the mountain or jump the mountain. Yat kripa tamaham vande, if we have the grace of Lord, O Lord, Krishna or God Almighty, if we have His grace, anything, any miracle can happen. So Paramananda Madhavam. So Madhava, O Lord Krishna, if we have your grace, there is nothing impossible to us. That is the one of the meditation verses of Bhagavad Gita. Mukam karoti vachalam. Mukam karoti vachalam. Pangum langhayate girim. Pangum langhayate girim. Yatkripatamaham vande. Yatkripatamaham vande. Paramanandamadavam. Paramanandamadavam. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. If you have any question of what we have discussed today, to recapitulate, we discussed about the goals of our life. So we condensed everything into SPH, security, peace, and happiness. We are searching it outside, but it is all within us. So Bhagavad Gita and all the scriptures tell that is within you, but it is covered by 3 layers. What is that? Impurity of mind, mala. Second, it is vikshepa, disturbance of the mind, extrovertedness of the mind. Third, ignorance. So how to remove them? By karma yoga, then upasana yoga, then it is gnana yoga. So Bhagavad Gita and all the other scriptures, they give us the different methods by which we can remove them. So we got a bird eye view what Bhagavad Gita is going to give us. Then we have studied the 2 verses from the first chapter by which we are getting the condition why this battle took place. What was the mindset of the people? Who was the Dhritarashtra? What is Sanjaya? And who is Duryodhana? So all that we have studied today. Now, if you have any questions on what we have studied, you can ask. Any questions of what we have studied today? Okay, if you don't have any questions, you can even ask. If you feel shy, even when we go out, you can personally ask that too. If we don't have any questions, we'll conclude. Om Namo Narayanaya.
Om Namo Narayana, revered sisters and brothers. Thank you, Maharaj, for very humorously reminding us also about SPH and the abundant treasures of security, peace, and happiness that is available within us. Sisters and brothers, just a few announcements. Please note that Gita classes will continue every Tuesday during the month of May. Please tell all your friends and family to attend. Weekly satsang will take place on Saturday between 4 to 5:30 p.m. Sisters and brothers, the Swami Vivekananda Center for Human Excellence will present a Bhajan Sounds program with the revered Maharaj on 7th May, that's this Sunday, between 6 to 7 p.m. Sri Ramakrishna Aarti and meditation 5 to 6 p.m. Sisters and brothers, there's also a registration form at the entrance of the shrine. Please, can you lovingly fill it with your contact details so that we have all of your details. Have a safe and blessed journey home. Jai Shri Ramakrishna.